Hello. It feels so good and so nice to be with you once again in this edition of our program tagged Singles Butterflies. Singles Butterflies. Last time out on Singles Butterflies, we looked at keys to building a loving, lasting relationship. Keys to building a loving, lasting relationship. And we looked at three of them, which connection, conviction, and compatibility. Connection, conviction, and compatibility as the basis to beginning and building any relationship that you hope will be full of love, full of peace, full of joy, a relationship you will enjoy, a relationship you want to be in for the rest of your life, eventually graduating into marriage. Even if you're already married, these three things are very imperative for building a loving, lasting relationship. That is connection, conviction, and compatibility. Now, today we want to look at part 2 of that. Keys to building a loving, lasting relationship, part 2. Before I begin to expose the three keys that I want to give to you today, I'd like to ask you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. It is important you subscribe so you can always have access to videos on our channel every time we upload them. If you also need to click the notification bell, please also do well to share with your friends and family so that they would know, they will learn these things and apply them to their own lives as well. I also like to encourage you to make your comments, ask your questions. We will respond to them as the Lord gives us grace and wisdom. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It will do a lot of good, to be of great blessing to you, your family, your relationship, as you subscribe and you share with them. So today we're looking at keys to building a loving, lasting relationship, part 2. And we'll be talking about three keys. The first on the list is caring. The first on the list is caring. Everybody desire that he or she be cared for. In a relationship, every man must care for the wife or the woman, and every woman must care for the man. To show care or to be caring implies that you give attention. You care, you pay attention to the mood, to the feeling, to the opinion, to the perspective, to the disposition of your spouse. You have to be attentive when he or she is talking or whatever mood he or she may be in. So pay attention. Caring also implies giving provision. Giving provision. When you care about someone, you provide for the person to the best of your ability. Of course, I do not encourage people in relationship to go beyond their means, but the truth is you cannot love without caring, and you cannot care without giving. So give provision to the best of your ability. Give gifts is important. Support one another. This is not the responsibility of the man alone. It is also the responsibility of the woman to support her man. Very important. Also, when you care, you also give protection. You give protection to whatever you care about. So the act of protecting your spouse from being harassed, from being embarrassed, from being disgraced, from being maltreated, the act of protecting your spouse from whatever could cause him or her pain beyond maybe his or her capacity to endure it or to manage the situation, it is an act of caring. So as a man, you have to protect your spouse or your spouse to be, as the case may be. Now, as a woman, you also ought to protect your husband or your spouse to be. All right? Now, caring also involves words of affection and actions of affection. That is showing love through kindness, through kind words and kind actions. All right? All of that implies caring. Now, when you care, you are already on the path of building a loving, lasting relationship. The second on the list is communication. I used to tell everyone that care to listen, and even those who don't care to listen, that communication is the live wire of every relationship. Without communication, there can be no relationship. Communication makes relationship to continue to grow. It helps the people who are in a relationship to continue to integrate or blend into one another. The more you communicate, the more you unite, the more you come together, the more you get to understand each other's perspective, opinion, feelings, actions, and likes and dislikes, as the case may be. Now, for you to be an effective communicator in your relationship, you have to employ consideration. Consider what you say or what you're about to say before you say. Don't just say what you feel or what you think. Think about what you want to say, how the other person is going to receive it, if he or she will understand it the way you mean it, and consider your tone also. So for effective communication, consideration, being thoughtful, being mindful of the words and mood and tone that you are using in your communication is very important for you to build a loving, lasting relationship. You also have to consider the feeling and disposition of the person you are talking to at that time. There is the right time to say certain things, and I strongly believe that there is also the wrong time to say certain things. When someone is not in a good frame of mind, it is not the best time to bring up critical issues. Rather, you should try to see how to help your spouse overcome that situation or that feeling or that mood that he or she is in at that point in time. All right? So you also have to speak your spouse's language. For effective communication, know your spouse's language. Don't speak your own language. Communication is of no use when what you say is only in your own language and the person you said it to cannot understand it. It is like I, being an Urobo, speaking Urobo to an Isoko man or to a Yoruba man who does not understand Yoruba language, who does not understand the Urobo language. So speak the language of your spouse when you communicate. Men are very rational in their communication, while women are very emotional in their communication. So as a woman, you want your husband to understand you or your man to understand you. Try your best. Yes, be yourself as much as possible, but be as much as possible rational so that your spouse will understand what you're saying. Your spouse may not be able to understand all your emotional talk if there's no rational or rational perspective to it. So please, as much as possible, communicate in the language of your spouse. Listening, simplicity, as well as sincerity are important to make your communication effective. Some people only listen to talk back. They don't listen to understand so as to be able to respond appropriately. And that is not good. And when you are the one who likes to talk and not listen, you eventually damage the communication line between you and your spouse. So learn to listen and don't always be the one who wants to do all the talking. Be also simple, straightforward, and direct in your communication. This will help you build a loving and lasting relationship. Also, you need to be sincere. There should not be disguise, no hypocrisy, no deception in your words. Be simple and sincere in your communication. This is what will foster trust in your relationship as the days goes by. So effective communication will eventually build trust and as well as show how much you care for your spouse. This all together, put together, will make your relationship a relationship full of love and a relationship that will last and stand the test of time. Now, lastly, for today, I'd like to talk to you about commitment. Commitment is the other key that will enable you to build a loving, lasting relationship. Commitment in the form of faithfulness. You have to be faithful to your words and to your promises. You have to be committed to your responsibilities. For those who are married, you have responsibilities to one another. Even if you are not married, you have responsibility to the person you are in a relationship with. Your commitment to your responsibilities is what will make your relationship full of love and make your relationship to last and weather the storms of life, which usually comes to every relationship. A lot of couples or couples to be in relationship, they only think about fun. They only think about having a good time. Yeah, having fun, having a good time is good, but there are basic responsibilities that you owe to one another. There are basic responsibilities that you ought to carry out to service your relationship, to build your relationship. Okay? These responsibilities, you have to be committed to it. Have you promised your spouse something? Then be faithful to it and do it diligently. So, commitment implies faithfulness, diligence, and of course, you need to also apply creativity so that your commitment will not turn around to become, make your life and relationship to be boring. Dearly beloved, we talked about 3 keys that will make your relationship full of love and make your relationship to last and weather the storms of life, which are caring, communication, and commitment. Now, when you add these to the previous 3 we talked about, connection, conviction, and compatibility, I tell you the truth, you are on your way to building a loving, lasting relationship. Till I come your way again, please don't you ever forget this. I love you, but God loves you more. God bless you richly. Please subscribe, comment, share, and click the notification bell. God bless you.